it is
Happy New
officially
Year.
2022. Woo! You know what's so exciting? Why not celebrate 2022 with some really motivational stories from tutors who were where you're at and where you want to be, right? And today we're going to be featuring three special tutors that are going to share their journey with you on how they made it on into the four-figure a month club. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, it doesn't seem like much, but the four-figure a month club is actually pretty broad, club. There's but I think once we start moving on into, even when you're hitting like $1,000, all of a sudden something different like changes inside of your brain when it comes to this. You're like, oh, like I could actually start making tutoring my career. I don't have to just do this as like a side hustle. And I think that's really cool. And today you guys are going to get to hear from Sharon Fraser Verputten, who has been with our community for a really long time. She's been in our Insider Secrets Club. Do you remember how long you've been in our Insider Secrets Club for?
It was February of 2019. I was thinking about that this morning.
Wow. So that's almost 3 years practically that you've been in the community and doing it. And what has your experience been like?
It was amazing. I was kind of thinking about when I made that jump into, the four-figure a month club, and it was very soon after I joined the community.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd been trying to jump my tutoring business for probably a year before that, and it just wasn't going anywhere. So it was when I joined the Insider Secrets Club that everything just clicked
Yeah, and
for
at that
me.
point in time, there was only the Insider Secrets Club. There wasn't even the Jumpstart program. Is that
Right.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Right.
I remember
Yeah.
you. I remember you being a part of like the Reading Interventionist program and all of those things, and it just being very awesome for you. Now, you were also when you started this, you were kind of doing it as a side hustle. You were still working in the school system. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was working full time in the school system at that time. So just really trying to make this an after school weekend gig and really for summer. I was looking to make summer money, and it picked up so quickly that I was able to back way off and work part time in the school system. And then I was able to take a complete year off after my baby was born. So.
Oh, that is so awesome! And then you were able to begin. Tell us about like when you started getting those clients, and you made that shift of okay, I'm not going to go back to work. Tell us what happened during that shift.
Oh, it's a hard shift to make because when you're in the school system, you have they call it tenure, but it's not, but you become permanent status, and it's always something you can go back to and fall back on. But it was really something where I had made enough money tutoring that I felt like it was possible. And so I just made I made that jump, and
Mm.
it's scary, but you can't move forward unless, without shedding something. And that's where that was for me.
Right. And for you, it was a matter of there's that security. It feels like that false sense of security that comes from having a job. What was your experience in the school system? Did you have a positive experience with the school system that you were at?
Um, yeah. I mean, I'd been at it for a long time. I've been teaching for 28 years.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started tutoring, I really realized that I could make a difference. And when I was
Yeah.
talking to parents, especially at the beginning, I've always known how difficult it is for a teacher to reach all 30 kids at once and to really be that individualized, to do that individualized instruction that we talk about. But with tutoring, I just love it.
Yeah.
And I like that's where it brought my heart back into teaching again.
Yeah.
So I knew that this was what I needed to do. And I wanted that flexibility for my own children.
Yeah. That's
You
right.
know,
Because you have twins too.
yep, I have twin second graders, and I'm able to homeschool them while I do this. And it's like my dream come true to have this time to spend with my family, really.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. So you're homeschooling your own kids. You have a
Mhm.
baby. and you have a
Mhm.
tutoring business. I mean, come on, you guys. I mean, we want to talk about a full plate here. That's one full plate that you got going on. So, I mean, congratulations to you for getting to that point. Was there a point before you joined the Insider Secrets Club where you kind of like wondered if this would even happen for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I the summer before I had tried to launch like a program that I didn't even know how much I was going to charge for it, and it just I didn't even get one student that summer before, and so then jumping into it the next year, I just I was floundering. I didn't know what to market. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what kind of students. I didn't know who my ideal client was. So yeah, I was kind of ready to kind of throw in the towel and maybe do something else.
Yeah. And it's really easy to come to that decision when you're like, gosh, I feel like this should be so much easier. And then you find out, wait, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. But then you got some guidance. You
Hmm.
took, you're like one of those people that I feel like all you have to do is like give them an idea and like you run with it. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just so amazing when it comes to that. You don't sit on things. You are a doer. You are an action taker, and that has led to a lot of the success too. Because a lot of people they can join a program or they can join something, but not actually follow through. And you always had follow through, which is why you're experiencing that success. So, where are the students that you have now? Where do most of those students find you?
Oh gosh, I don't even know that it's most of them from one place.
Sure.
I do Facebook Lives. I'm active in a lot of Facebook like parent groups, and I
Uh-huh.
would say a lot of parents find me from there.
Hmm.
I do still do tutors.com ads, and so some find me there. You know what? I honestly, most of my parents come from the charter schools, and I had a student in a charter school, and they said, "Hey, can you become a vendor so we can use our charter school money for this?" And I sure, and it was just as easy as filling out some forms and doing and getting fingerprinted. And so now I'm in their system, and I would say like 2 to 3 students find me per month through that. So I have a lot
Wow.
of homeschool kiddos.
That's fantastic. So you've really been able to like and I bet like those if even when you're working with some of those like you got the charter school students, you got the homeschool students that you have, those parents that are homeschool parents, do you feel like you're able to connect with them because you're also a homeschool parent yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you
Um,
know exactly what they're going through.
yep, yep.
I love it.
All the ups and the downs. And I with my twins, I feel like I have my own little uh science-based reading program because my son has dyslexia and my daughter does not. And so I can see what reading should be like for most kids and then what reading is like if your child is dyslexic. And I have that
Mhm.
empathy now for parents also. And I can provide that information coming from a teacher standpoint, knowing what's happening.
Yeah, you got like that teacher slash parent like empathy, like both sides of it, so that, it's like, look, you can do everything right and still have a
Mhm.
kid who's going to struggle. Like, this is not your
Yep.
fault. Don't blame this on yourself. You know, not everybody learns at the same rate, the same pace, or all of that kind of stuff. So that really
Yeah.
comes far too when you can relate to people. People aren't looking for uh, the expert that knows it all person. I feel like they're
Mhm.
looking for somebody who can understand them and their situation and then give them guidance and help them with moving forward. And I find sometimes as teachers, we can come off as kind of know it alls. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like we don't really communicate. We weren't ever taught really how to be empathetic. When we had those, nobody taught us how to have like a parent conference, a parent teacher conference. There was no class for that,
Right.
right? And
Right.
and like I
Yeah.
sat as I sat on the other side of the table as a parent, I was just like, whoa, is that what we sound like? Like, holy cow. It like blew my mind away. So the fact that you're able to keep that empathy because of what you've been through, I think that makes a huge difference. Now we have a bunch of jump starters. They're finishing up this week. This is their last week. It always goes by so fast. I can't believe it. But this is their last week, and some of them are going to now join on in to the Insider Secrets Club. And some of them are on the fence. They're like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like, my head is ready to explode. I feel like I've got enough information. For those people that are like, I don't know if I should join Insiders, what would you say to them?
Oh, it's absolutely worth it. The community of tutors that you're just in this group of people who are all learning like you and doing the same thing as you are doing. This is a really different business that we're doing with our
Mm-hmm.
clients are actually the children, but then we're marketing to their parents. And that's such a unique thing for us as tutors. And that's what
Yeah,
I found being in the Insider Secrets Club that's different from another business coaching program
right.
is this is really specific to what we're doing. And I feel like every time I listen in and join a Zoom call, I get something, even if it's a Q&A and somebody else is asking all the questions and I'm just listening.
Mm-hmm.
I always get something.
Awesome. Yay. Well, congratulations for making it into the four-figure club. You've been in the four-figure club for a while now.
Yeah.
So now you actually get the recognition for being in the four-figure club.
Thank
Woo!
you.
Awesome. And we've got as well today Demetra Bryant. Hello, Demetra.
Hello, Joanne. And of course, the dog wants to bark now.
Oh, of course. I had the dog barking issue earlier, and I'm like, oh, my husband, shut the dog in my office. So I like got out of, had a little moan up. But yeah, you can hear those things. Like they could be like all the way, like they could be outside, and you could still hear them. They're so much fun. Everybody's got to love their dogs. Which is awesome. So, Demetra, tell everybody what it is that you tutor and what you do.
I do reading and writing for children with exceptionalities, mainly students with IEPs. They may be on a 504 plan, but then also students that are struggling that may be part of the response to intervention team or just not passing their classes. So that's how I originally started, with children with special needs. Then I started getting gifted students requests, because I am also a gifted, have a gifted certification.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, hey, why not? I, haven't been able to really utilize my gifted certification in the public school system so
Right.
much. So I'm just like, hey, you know what a wonderful opportunity to go ahead and create a program for them. So they're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Everybody's enjoying it.
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, and the school system, I know they've got a very big job to do. They've got all of these kids that are struggling that they've got to meet the needs of. But these kids that are gifted, or the kids that are above grade level, they're getting left behind, in their own way, because they could be moving forward faster. And I really don't think that we should keep them all here at the same level. We don't need to have everybody be a robot and be exactly the same. Like, everybody's going to have their own gifts in their own areas and things. And I think it's okay for us to expand upon that and not, we want to close that gap so much that we're almost like dumbing down our smarter kids as well by not offering them different things. So that's amazing that you're doing that. So how when it comes to being able to reach that four figures, when you finally reached that four figures the first time, what did it feel like?
I was like, I was shocked, because my anticipation was, I'm not going to do the after school program. Maybe I'll just tutor 3 kids, maybe a couple of kids will join for the summer. And, one student became 2, then became 4. And now I'm beyond capacity. I have 14,
Yeah.
but I
Wow.
also still teach full time. So
Yes.
to coordinate all of that has been fun. But when I realized, oh my goodness, I hit 4 figures, like maybe the 5th month after joining the Jumpstart program, I'm just like, oh my God, I had no idea. I didn't have that big dream like
Sure.
that. It was just to, to help with some little gaps that I had. But then I'm just like, oh, you know what? You couldn't be doing this full time. It's time to retire.
Right?
Retire now. So it's very exciting.
So is that the goal? Is the goal to leave the school system and do this full time now?
Yes, it is. I'm in a predicament now where I'll be 60 in 2023.
Uh-huh.
So I can retire then, but I'm just like, why? I may just go ahead and do it a year earlier because with COVID now and digital learning and all this stuff that's going on, it's just like, why don't I just go ahead and move forward
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. Yeah, and you've opened yourself up to options. And isn't that
Yes.
awesome? Like you have choices. It's like I don't actually need to teach in the classroom if I don't want to. That's amazing. I think that's almost where getting to that four figures almost does to you. Like you all of a sudden start seeing the possibilities and what can really happen because of this, that this is actually a pretty darn easy way to make money, isn't it?
It is. And just to know that I'm able to help the parents also with
Mm-hmm.
needs. So I had a lot of parents that didn't understand their IEPs, different terminology. So I've incorporated IEP consultations
Mm-hmm.
within my tutoring. So it's not only am I helping the kids, I'm helping the families. I realized that there was some kids that were diagnosed with executive functioning.
Mm-hmm.
So I have now private tutoring for just executive functioning, not just reading and writing. So the possibilities of tutoring has gone well beyond what I'm thinking was just going to be reading and writing.
Yeah.
It's well beyond that right now.
Yeah, and it absolutely can, right? And I think that's the beauty. Like when you just start off with one idea of like, okay, who am I going to target? Who am I going to market to? And then all of a sudden people start coming to you and they start saying, oh, can you tutor this? Can you tutor that? You have options. You can say, I actually would enjoy tutoring that. Let me give it a go, right? Or
Mhm.
no, that's not really my thing. I'm going to pass them on up to another tutor that might be a better fit than I would be for that. So I
Right.
think
And
that's cool.
I do have the people that, want help with math. I'm like, oh boy, no, you don't want me to do that. I mean, I can do it, but not the way they want the students to learn right now.
Right.
So I just really do focus on the reading and writing. And then I do refer out for
Hmm.
students that need the math help.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you ended up doing Jumpstart and you joined Insiders. What have you noticed is the difference between Jumpstart and Insiders?
I joined Insiders first. And then just by chance, okay, so this was February and March of 2020, your Jumpstart program was beginning. And I'm just like, you know what, I better go ahead and jumpstart in, in order to really, be able to move forward. The Insider Club provided a lot of information. I was already a business owner in travel. I had my travel agency for 16 years. That was my retirement plan, but COVID kind of had to shut that down
Ah,
a little bit. So, just switching the whole mindset of travel and entertainment to tutoring, I think that if I didn't join the Jumpstart program, I would not have been as successful or as fast because
yeah.
you had mentioned in the Jumpstart program, being able to get your first student by the time the program was over. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see how this goes. And I swear to you, the last day of the Jumpstart program, I got 2 students. I'm like,
Ah!
missed something.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So
And it's not like it happens like right out of the gate for everybody. I mean, some people it does happen right out of the gate for them. They get that first student, boom, they're
Mhm.
getting going, they're excited. And then some it's right towards the end of the program where they get that student and some, that join the program, maybe they don't get a student during the program, but they get a student after the program because of all of the pieces that they have put into place with their business. And we all have to be patient, I think, sometimes with ourselves if you're taking the right actions and you're being honest with yourself. So that's
Right. I
awesome.
agree with you. But, your program, it was just phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, for anybody who is considering taking your program, follow the program. Just follow it. It works.
It
It
does.
works.
It does. And what's cool is you guys, it's going to open next week. So if you've been on the fence, you're thinking about joining Jumpstart, we will be opening the doors next Tuesday. We are going to have a free training where you can learn more about how can you make 2022 a profitable year with your tutoring business. So we'll be having that free training. I'll share more information about Jumpstart, and then you guys will be able to join Jumpstart, and we'll start with a new cohort of people in the new year.
May I add something else?
Yeah, you sure can.
In addition to your Jumpstart, I also did the reading interventionist program. And as much as I've been a reading and language arts teacher for many, many years, we all know how that kind of works. You have that certification, but those nuances of the phonics and, different programs and things like that, that's not what we're taught. And if you are lucky enough to have a school system that's buying a new curriculum or something, sometimes the school systems don't purchase the entire program.
Right.
So you still have these gaps where the kids was just like, oh, if I had that extra piece for this program, it will probably work. So I did appreciate the reading intervention program. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the training as well. Like sometimes you get a new program and sometimes they don't purchase the training. Like not all programs give you a training. You have to purchase the training. And so some school districts think, oh, we'll just have our own people train them, even though their own people have never actually taught the program. And I think we have to go beyond programs here and know how do we actually close the gap for each of these kiddos and how could we do it quickly, because that's what we're being hired for, right? And so it involves us removing ourselves. I know a lot of people, they're like, I know this one program, so I'm going to teach that online. Like, okay, you could choose to do that, but know that that program has been designed to only move a child 2 years in one. Right? Like any programs that have been designed for the school system, if you're in a special ed, that specifically is their guarantee is that we'll move you 2 years in one, and they do not. And then they don't. And so you're stuck with okay, so the kids didn't make the 2 years, so they didn't make that group. Some of them are even further behind than their peers than they would like to be at this point in time, and we just need to have that knowledge of how do we manipulate ourselves around each of these different facets that kids can struggle with and be able to close that gap and do it quickly and efficiently.
Not all programs are designed for all the kids, especially when you're talking to, students with disabilities. You just can't, for a lot of learners, you just can't place them in front of a computer.
Right.
You need that direct instruction from the professional, from the teacher. So.
And I have found the research in the past has always said, oh, small group instruction is just as effective as one-on-one. Oh my gosh, who were they doing those studies with is all I have to say, because I have not experienced that whatsoever. That's what I believed. And so that's what I did when I was in the school system. I had small groups of kids always with me, but the kids don't all move at the same rate. And so somebody is always being pulled back or somebody is being, pushed ahead versus being able to get that exact instruction that they need in that moment. And that's not cool. So I don't know. I think that the more that we can educate ourselves, the better that we can do. So yay. I'm glad that all of those things were effective for you and they help you continue to have a 4-figure a month income. I know Justine was sharing, she's been making over $4,500 a month with tutoring online. Before we get into that story, Sharon, I know that you've gotten really on up there, almost 5 figures a month at some points, haven't you?
Yeah, that's my next goal.
Yeah, I had a feeling because you've been
Yeah.
up to like 8,000,
Hmm.
9,000 mark. This is it. This is the year for her, 2022. Although we had to
Yeah.
also be patient because she's got an 18-month-old. And you've got 14 students. How much would you say like on average you're making each month, Demetra?
I'm at like the 22, 2400
Okay, great.
mark. I had to get creative. I have some siblings. I do not offer a sibling discount. They come into the group together, and you
Mhm.
know that working with two people together is harder than that one-on-one. But the
Yeah.
parents clearly understood that. But I also want to say that the original students that I started with, I still have. They've been achieved their goals, but their parents will not let them leave the program.
You know what? And this is what I love. This is why I say like tutoring is so easy because they do stay with you for so long, even though they don't need to. But you do develop relationships with them, and it's really hard to just let them go and be like, I'm sorry, you've reached a goal. You are now on grade level, so I have to release you. That's what the school district has to do, but that's not what we have to do. Right. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's like, no, we can take you further. Like, you don't have to be behind. You can actually be above grade level. So if you're interested in that, let's make it happen. You
The
know?
parents, I think, get creative and ask you for other things.
Yes.
They'll be like, can you do writing now? Can you work on math? And I just love that little kid. And I'm like, yes, you're in third grade. Of course I can teach you math.
Right, right. Exactly, exactly. Yeah. There are certain like levels, like I go on up to like that sixth grade level and I'm like, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't really want to go above sixth grade, but I can certainly handle the rest of it. So
Mhm.
we've got Justine Forelli in the house. And you guys, Justine just started her tutoring business recently. Was it August that you started your tutoring business?
Yeah, I would say so. Like that's my official start date, August 1st.
August 1st. Woo! And, I had been in talks with Justine and I was like going back and forth on adding team members onto my team and doing this and that. And we had got it to the point where she was going to work for me and get paid, what she's charging. And then she's like, well, can I join Jumpstart? I'm like, yes, absolutely. I want you to. My goal is always to help tutors become self-sustaining tutors, right, with their own business. That's why I started this whole thing. And when she said that, I was like, I absolutely support that. And you ended up like just knocking it out of the park with that program. Tell us about your experience.
Okay. Yeah, I loved it. I loved Jumpstart. I just I loved the tracking so I could make sure that I accomplished all of the tasks every week. And I used the organizer, the planner, and just marched through, and it really paid off. It was amazing. I also didn't really expect it. Like you have that offer where you can um, I guess you have to email you right in the beginning if you want your money back if you don't, get that one client. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, should I do that? I might not get a client. And then I just thought, well, I'm not going to. And, I'm glad I didn't because it didn't take very long. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. But, suddenly, all of a sudden, there was one, there was two, and then so on and so forth. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, when I ended it, I can't remember the exact number I had, but I think it was close to 15. And now I have 20. So,
And that was your goal. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that is amazing! Because you set out, you're like, I kept asking you, how many students do you want?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna get book solid before I even give you a student, because it was like right at that like transition time
Mhm.
of students leaving and then students coming in because of the school year. So it was like, okay, I don't really have any students to give you right now, but
Mhm.
we'll continue training and all of that stuff. And I was like, oh, gosh, you're gonna be book solid before I even have any students to give you.
Yeah.
Which is
And also
awesome.
I just love like building the website and trying to do all the marketing, all that kind of stuff. I like that part of it. And so that just totally fired me up that there was a blueprint to do it. And so it just really worked for me.
And then you decided to join Insiders. And what has that been like
Yeah.
for you?
Right. Because also the other thing that I loved about the Jumpstart was the community
Mhm.
and having and the accountability and just not being alone. And so I wanted to make sure to continue that. So that's why I joined the Insiders, just to keep it going. So all of a sudden I'm not just out there, by myself floating around. And so for me, Insiders is not as intense as the Jumpstart is. And I like that because, I obviously with 20 students, I can't be as intense anymore anyway. I need to I'm spending a lot of time actually tutoring as opposed to, so it's perfect really for me to just kind of, stay involved, stay active, but not as intensely.
Exactly. And also like not be alone as you go through this process because tutoring can be such a lonely business for so many people, but then you always have that ability to interact and connect with other tutors, and they get you. They get what they're going through. It's not like talking to your spouse who doesn't get any aspect of this, right? It's you get to talk to other people who they are exactly where you're at or have been where you're at and can really empathize, help you guide, share their story of how they mastered this next thing or went on, and so that's awesome. And it is like you have a lot of freedom. You have a lot of resources and tools inside of Insiders. Tell people about the different types of resources that they have in Insiders available to them.
So basically, it seems like there's a course that you offer, and I think if I'm not mistaken, that is about 4 weeks, right? It changes
every
topic,
course. Yep.
kind of?
Every 4 weeks I have a new course that I focus on. Every month is a new topic. This is goal setting in the new year is what we're going to be heading on into this month. But every single month is a brand new course that gets unlocked for you at no additional cost, just part of the program.
Yeah, which is just so nice, right? Just to keep it going or even go over things that you've heard before. And then the other part is there's a mastermind. So you get to pick one to go into deeper. And I've picked blogging. So I'm in the blogging mastermind. And then I also ended up I did Suzanne's blogging course too, because I really like that title, Blogging to Get Found. I was like, yeah, that's what I want. So I did both. And now her course is ended. And so I can just kind of slow down again and be in the mastermind. So those are the two that I really do. I don't do so much the Q&A right now, but I'm sure I will. That's the beauty of it. I know it's there. And I do continue to I actually still continue to have like just one-on-one Zooms with two people from Jumpstart. So, and one of them's in Insiders. So I just keep that going.
I love
it. That's good. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's always great to be able to connect, continue to get support, and continue to take your education to the next level, because this whole marketing piece is new for all of us and it keeps changing. And so this allows us to stay relevant and have amazing things happen. So those of you that I just had the question, how can I join Insiders? If you've been in business for a while, this is always what I say. If you've been in business for a while, Insiders would probably be a good fit for you. Like if you've got all the basics down, you've got a website, you've got all the resources and tools, but you're looking for camaraderie, you're looking to take your marketing to the next level, Insiders is a great fit. There's a link inside of the description that you can click on and join us. However, if you have never, you're like, I have no idea how to get clients, I don't have a website, I don't really know how to network, then I would say Jumpstart is going to be the best fit for you at this point in time, and then move on into Insiders, because Jumpstart is exactly what it's meant. Jumpstart, your online tutoring business masterclass, is going to give you all of the beginner, things that you need in order to take your business to the next level. So that's our goal. So all of these amazing people, they are now making 4 figures a month. Like nobody can ever take that away from you guys. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that awesome? It's like all these other people that have to take on all these other side hustles, you got it going on. You're able to make the same income or more doing what you love. And I think that's amazing, is that we have all these opportunities and choices ahead of us. So congratulations, every single one of you. Sharon, Justine, Demetra, thanks for joining us today. I can't wait to feature your stories on our onlinetutorcoach.com website so that other people can be inspired by your journey as you have gone from, 0 students to taking on some students to making it to that 4 figures monthly. And just so you guys know, in order to make it into this club, they had to have done this for 3 months or more, right? So this isn't just like I hit 4 figures once and I'm out, or I hit 5 figures once, I did it once and I make it into the club. No, this is like you're consistently doing this over time. So congratulations, ladies, and thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day, you guys, and we will see you soon. If you haven't joined Impact yet, make sure to join it. We are going to start live on Thursday. Those videos will not be in here. They will be in the Facebook group. So make sure to sign up at onlinetutorcoach.com/impact, and you can get your free ticket to join us for 5 days. 5 days, over 22 speakers are going to be sharing some really awesome stuff with you. So come join us. We've got lots of giveaways, prizes, all that great stuff. It's going to be an amazing event. So start off your new year right and come join us for Impact. Thanks, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your